Had two small children, and the previous owner smoked for like 30 years. It smells. He's worried. Can he fix it? Does he have any risks? Ross was saying earlier that he might.
Yes.
You familiar with this
I
situation?
have done a project like this before, and honestly, I'm not looking forward to do it again.
Why? What is involved?
You're gonna be dealing with a lot of strong odors and then staining walls, and it's a lot of work to clean up. We started by top to bottom, all surface. We're gonna scrub everything with the TSP solution, and then everything is done clean.
Wait. All surfaces. So
All
TSP
surface.
ceilings, walls,
Ceilings,
floor.
walls, doors, windows,
All things.
floors, baseboards,
Oh,
the whole thing.
okay.
Don't skip any spot.
Yeah.
So after everything is dry, we'll come back, 5 days later with we're gonna use 2 coats of primer, an alcohol-based primer.
Never even heard of an alcohol-based primer. What does that do for
This
us?
is a less impermeable than the traditional primer.
Really?
It makes everything breathes back again.
So less permeable is a way of sort of trying to encapsulate those surfaces and then
Yes.
put the paint on top of
And
it?
then put 2 coats of paint on top of it,
Huh.
and it's ready to go.
And what is this going to set Adam back?
Adam is gonna have a heart attack.
Smoking kills.
Well, a job like this, I would say it's about $25,000.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Really?
Kevin, it's a tremendous amount of work to get to this, to clean
Okay.
this up.
So that's tough news. And so what is the science behind this? Like,
Yeah,
what's
so I
going
think it
on?
helps to define. So there are really three different kinds of smoke, right? You got first-hand smoke. I think most people are familiar with. That's the person who's smoking a cigarette or cigar. Second-hand smoke is the person who's in close vicinity to the person who's smoking. Third-hand smoke, that's the new one. That's been studied right now for the last 10 to 15 years from the scientific community. And what that really is the chemical residue that's left behind from the smoke.
What are the chemicals generally? Do you know?
So we're talking about nicotine, we're talking about tar, and a whole host of other harmful chemicals.
Left behind, meaning they're physically left on the surfaces in this house.
Yeah, so think of the smoke and think of it leaving behind this residue that gets deposited on all the surfaces of the building.
Yeah.
And think about those chemicals get absorbed into the actual porous materials of the building.
Wow, porous,
So-
meaning.
So think of everything: wood, drywall, your flooring, your carpeting, your upholstery, your furniture, everything.
Insulation.
Right? Insulation behind the drywall. So it gets absorbed into everything. And so if you've got, in Adam's case, for someone smoking for 30 plus years in that building, it's going to get actively absorbed into everything. And then what it tries to do is equalize. So it tries to evaporate back into the indoor air.
So after, let's say 30 years in this case,
Yeah.
Are you suggesting that cleaning is no longer sufficient? Because that sounds like it's a surface treatment.
Yeah.
No longer sufficient. What do you do
Yeah,
then?
well, in a long term, the experts say you have to remove all those materials.
Oh.
I mean, for Adam's case, it would be a gut rehab. It would be crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it makes $25,000 cheap. Yeah.
So that goes
Yeah.
through the AC vents and electrical outlets, goes all behind the walls and stuff, right?
People think that actively cleaning the surfaces, running the fans, opening the windows, putting in new air filters, that's going to solve it. Third-hand smoke is a different animal. It's getting absorbed into the actual porous materials of the building.
So you say this is new information. How good is the science, and who's getting harmed by this? Like, how legit is this whole thing?
Yeah, so it's only been studied for the last 10, 15 years, like I said, and with kids, they're at the highest risk. They have developing bodies, and what the scientists have found is that it can get through the skin. So just like a nicotine patch for someone that's trying to wean off of cigarettes.
They found this in kids who've been exposed to the third-hand smoke?
Third-hand smoke, yeah. So there's been a study that looked at kids exposed to second-hand smoke and kids exposed to third-hand smoke,
Yeah.
and they both had similar levels of nicotine in their urine. Right, so the kids are crawling around in the upholstery and the floors, carpeting, and so it's getting absorbed, and all those chemicals we're talking about get absorbed into their skin.
All right, so who's going to notify Adam?
I'm not.
What? Bad news for Adam, but I guess better to know than not to know.
Yeah,
And he can make the proper decision.
yeah.
Wow, you guys did your homework. Thank you.
Well,
Thanks.